Ram Ram Ravikula Soma, Ram Ram Ravikula Soma, Kodanda Rama Pattabhirama, Kodanda Rama Pattabhirama, Sai Rama Saketa Rama, Sai Rama Saketa Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki 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 Rama, Jaya Rama Hare Jaya Rama Hare, Jai Sri.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Brothers and sisters, my name is Saranya and I will be your MC for today's Sai Spirit session. Without any further delay, let me welcome our special guest, the brother Aravind Balasubramanya, a brother who needs no introduction as he is incredibly adored by the International Sai family. Brother Aravind is an alumni of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He was also the creative head at Radio Sai Global Harmony for 13 years and is the author of several beautiful books, namely Living with God, Memoirs of a Sai Student, and Capturing Divinity. He is a well-known photography lover, so Brother Aravind was blessed with the opportunity to photograph Swami performing the Lingot Bhavam. How divine is that? But most inspiringly is how he's touched the lives of thousands all around the world through his engaging and informative videos. We are so very blessed to have him here today as he shares his thoughts on the topic work-life balance. Brother Aravind, this virtual stage is yours.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan. Dear Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, it is such a privilege to think about Swami, to talk about Swami. I'm grateful to Sister Sharanya for the lovely, loving introduction, and I hope that I stay true to all those words because it has all been Swami's grace. You know, when I was asked to speak on the topic work-life balance, I just smiled to myself because somehow all the problems and difficulties that I'm going through in my life at that particular point in time, Swami somehow gives me that topic to speak on, as if checking if my ears are also listening to what my mouth is speaking and following in life. You know, having left Radio Sai in February this year, I have joined a professional organization, and yes, I have also been going through the difficulty of this work-life balance and been praying to Swami, reading his discourses, seeing what he has said, and I have definitely got some insights. I cannot say that I have mastered it and I'm practicing it completely, but I'm definitely making an effort, and that is what this will be. It is the sharing of a fellow traveler with other fellow travelers. I'm not here as a person who knows more or who is better than anybody else. I'm just grateful to Swami and all of you for giving me the chance to speak, for giving me the chance to perform this Kirtana form of devotion. And I'm grateful to you for performing the Shravana form of devotion, which is listening, and Kirtana is singing his glory. Let me begin by, presenting before you a paradox that we see in life. When we are young, when we are in our teenage years, when we understand some aspects of our mind, how the mind desires, how the mind wants things, and that is when we start becoming like an adult, right? Like we want independence. That is what we are, young adults. When we are young adults, we want our own independence. We just wish that we can also become adults so that we can have so much control, so much power, all that. At that point of time in our life, we have a lot of time, we have a lot of energy, but we don't have control because we don't have the finances. Whatever I may want or choose, I have to go and ask my mother or father, dad, can I do this please? Mom, can I do this please? Because they have to finance us. And that is why possibly we want to become adults, because wait, let me earn my own money, then I'll be my own master. That's our plan. As we grow to a stage where we are earning sufficiently well, we reach the stage that most of us are in today, as adults, where we have energy, we have money, but there's no time. That's why we want to learn about work-life balance. How do we balance? I don't have time at all. I want to do 100 things. I want to pursue my passion. I want to pursue my hobby. I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to do that. But there is no time at all. I have money. I have energy. No time. That's why we think somehow, let me do this, let me earn well, and that's it. After that, I'm going to rock and enjoy life post-retirement. And then we retire. We have money. We have time. No energy now. Oh, who will travel? Who will climb Mount Everest now? No, that was a childhood dream. It's okay. And then what do? We give talks to youth and tell them how important youth is. Youth is the greatest phase in life. So you see what happens is, in each of these three phases of life, we are looking enviously at the other phases in life. We are not able to enjoy or take full benefit of the stage of life that we are presently in. And even this scenario that I have presented is a positive case scenario, because many times it's not as if everybody follows this same path. It's not as if as children, everybody has time and energy. Children get struck with diseases, health problems, various things, because of which they may not have the energy or the strength to do things. People may not get good jobs. And therefore, it is not as if in the Middle Ages, everybody has money and energy, but lacking in time. No. And it's not as if in old age, everybody has money and time, but no energy. Many people don't have money, don't have time, don't have energy as well. So even the case that I presented is a very, very positive case. At least two of the three we are having. So to start off with, I feel one powerful remedy for any problem, this has been my experience, for any problem that we have in life, a powerful remedy is gratitude. Gratitude for what we have. As I said, each of those three stages in life pass with us feeling envious of the other stages in life. While we forget that we have 2 out of 3, we are looking at the one missing. The more time we spend on what is that one we are missing, as children, we keep thinking of the money and power that we are missing. We forget to enjoy the time and energy that we have. As young adults and adults, we are so focused on the time that we are missing that we forget to enjoy the energy and money that we have. And in old age, same thing. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, can we start focusing on what we have? I remember the words of Helen Keller. Helen Keller is a legend. She was born blind and she was born deaf. Just imagine, 2 out of the 3 sense organs are gone. Now, when you're born deaf, what happens is you're unable to hear anything and therefore you can't learn language. Therefore, because she was deaf, she also could not speak. She was mute. She couldn't speak, she couldn't hear, she couldn't see. And yet, if you see the story of her life, it's so inspiring because she actually spoke. There is, if I'm not wrong, a video on YouTube of Helen Keller actually speaking. She learned how to speak by feeling. Anne Sullivan, her teacher, first time taught her the first word, water, water, by making her touch water. Just imagine learning to speak by just feeling objects. There's an entire speech that Helen Keller has given later in her life. Now, why did I bring up Helen Keller? Because Helen Keller said, I don't have time to complain in my life because I don't have enough time to count my blessings. Wow! Helen Keller, without sight, without hearing, without the ability to speak, says that she doesn't have sufficient time to count her blessings. Then what about any one of us? How much we should count our blessings? So that is one insight that I got when I was complaining about my own work-life balance. I realized that when I'm complaining, I'm not happy, and I'm not happy because I'm focusing on what I don't have and what I don't like. It's not as if I don't have things in my life. It's not as if there are no things that I like in my life. Why am I not focusing on them? Why am I focusing on the negatives? So started my efforts to try to focus on the positives. The other thing is, as they say, you may not get to do what you like, but you can definitely like what you have to do. It reminds me of an incident, 1991. This is the experience of Dr. Safaya, who was the first and longest serving director of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, the super specialty hospital at Bangalore. He had worked in the prestigious AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, which is India's premier medical institution for research as well as for surgery. He was the director there, and he came to serve Swami. You know, people who come to serve the Lord are from all categories in life. And here was the director of India's premier medical institution coming to serve Swami. And why was he coming? Because Swami had made a dramatic announcement during his previous birthday. Swami had just announced out of the blue, without anybody else knowing. Nobody there knew what was Swami's plan. When Swami, in the middle of his discourse, Swami, with a lot of pain in his heart, Swami said, you know, when people get heart problems or kidney problems or brain problem, any of these problems, when people get heart problems, the rich travel to other countries and get themselves treated. What about the poor? People don't give them even colored water, Swami said. Meaning, they don't even give them colored water means that forget giving them medicine. They don't give them even something to substitute as a medicine. You know, you just take this, it'll be fine. What is that word? I forget. Anyway, it is not actually medicine, but people take it, and because they believe it is medicine, it works for them. Even that is not given to these people. What will they do? I have decided that I will take care of such people. I'm going to start a hospital here in Puttaparthi. It will do heart surgery. It will do brain surgery. It will do all these treatments free of cost. Next year, same day, same time, we will inaugurate the hospital. Wow. Not only did Swami announce the hospital, Swami even announced the inauguration. Which day it will inaugurate? It is in 1 year. Building a super specialty hospital in a remote village. It was not so remote by then, but even then in a village without any infrastructure to support such a hospital. Wow, it would need a miracle. Everybody who were not Swami's devotees thought Swami is crazy. It's not possible at all. Even the members of the trust, central trust, they were wondering how on earth will this happen? How can it happen? And nobody had the slightest clue. Where do we get the funds? Where do we manage all this? How will it happen? You know, Professor G. Venkatraman had narrated this incident multiple times of how within a few months during the summer, Swami was at Kodaikanal with all the students. And Colonel Jogarao, who used to take care of all the ashram affairs and coordinate many things, he was very, very worried. Swami asked him, what happened? Why are you worried? He said, Swami, we have promised a hospital. I don't know how to make it happen. I really don't know whether the hospital will come. And Swami told him, Jogarav, you have not given a word. I have given the word. You don't worry. It was almost like, I can't help it now. I have given my word. It has to happen. Because Swami's words are like that. No word of Swami ever goes false. We may not understand it at that point in time, or the proper time might not have come. But those of us who think that Swami's words go wrong, or Swami has left us, or Swami doesn't know things, we are just deluded. The avatar of the age, let us not forget. Let us not forget. He is the indweller in each of our hearts. He knows everything. And when such a supreme being makes a will, it has to manifest. Has to manifest. Everything that is manifesting also is his will. Because if it was not, it wouldn't have manifested. As simple as that. The very fact that something has manifested means it has been his will. And it's at this point in time that Dr. Safaya also joined. And he was also very, very worried. He was worried whether the hospital will get completed in time or not. And he narrates how 2 days before the inauguration, early in the morning, because he has not slept through the night, he went and collapsed on the bed. And he had tears in his eyes. He prayed to Swami and then he told his wife, I don't know how the hospital will come. I really don't know what will happen. I think I will be letting Swami down. That was his worry. Well, history shows that his worries were unfounded because 2 days later, a person no less than the Prime Minister of India, Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, inaugurated the hospital. And on the very same day of inauguration, this is possibly unheard in the history of super specialty hospitals. On the same day of the inauguration of the hospital, 4 surgeries were performed successfully. And the next day, on the birthday, in his discourse, Bhagwan announced it, that 4 surgeries have been successfully done. And there was a thunderous applause. Now, why I told this story is because just imagine what Dr. Safaya might have felt about work-life balance. He's working continuously on the end through the week, Saturday, Sunday, every time, and working till late in the night. He comes and collapses on the bed at home. And that time also he doesn't say to his wife, what is this work here? I'm sick of it. What is this full time? I don't have a life at all. I don't have my personal life at all. He didn't say that. He brought his wife also into that and said, I don't know how to complete it, how to get this done. Did he not have work-life balance? Don't we feel that we also want to be like Dr. Safaya? What is the difference then? The difference is very simple. Dr. Safaya knew that he is working for Swami. I am doing this for Swami. And there lies the secret of work-life balance. Can I do everything that I do as I am doing it for Swami? Trust me, dear brothers and sisters, this is what I tell myself when I go out to work. Because let's face it, there are only a very, 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 very small number of jobs that directly involves speaking about Swami or working in the, even when you're working in the trust. Yes, it is Satya Sai Trust, but you have to do accounts, you have to manage finances, you have to have human relations, you have to hire people, you have to fire people. You know, it's all what we call in quotes worldly jobs. Radio Sai was a blessed institution where thinking of Swami, working on his discourses used to be your job. But then, you know, even there, sometimes if you're not properly aligned in your heart, Instead of work becoming worship, worship becomes work. It's about alignment in the heart. Let me give you one more example. This incident, though it's not directly related to Swami, it is etched in my heart. I was standing with one gentleman, we were talking. At that point in time, another gentleman comes walking. He looks at me, oh, Sai Ram, brother Aravind, how are you? And we start talking. And I introduce the gentleman next to me and say that, I'm sorry, it was not that way. So as he comes, he asks me what I'm working as. I tell him I'm working here in Radio Sai. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And he's like, oh, wow, wow, wow. The other gentleman with me was a driver. So, oh, okay, he's a driver. At that point in time, I smiled and told him, he's not any driver. He's Padmanabhan sir. He's Swami's driver. Oh, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, I was like amazed at the transformation. In 1 second from, oh, driver, okay. It went to Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. What brought about this transformation? What is it that makes me address him as Padmanabhan sir? Really, practically, do we address any driver as sir? But that's what happens when you are a driver for Swami. That's what will happen when we become accountants for Swami. That's what will happen when we become managers or marketers or salespeople for Swami. Let us take our job as a holy responsibility that Swami has given us. And let us do that to please Swami, not to please our bosses. Really. Because sometimes it's easy to fool and please our bosses. We can do things in a smart manner. But will my Swami be happy if he knows that I have not put my 100%? Suppose I'm doing a sales job. Let me consider that Swami has called me to the interview room, given me Pad Namaskar and said, my dear child, my Bangaru, go, I want you to do this sales. How will I do it? Will I not do it the way Dr. Safaya worked and did at the hospital? Even if my boss there comes and tells, hey, you did a good job, you can go home. If in my heart I'm not convinced I've done a good job, will I not say, it's okay, I want to stay on and do some more? The reverse also holds good. When I am doing something for Swami, I am doing it for Swami's happiness in my heart. And when I have put my 100%, I know I have put my 100%. Even if my boss comes and tells your work sucks, you have not done a good job. In my heart, I will tell, I didn't do it for you. I have done it for my Swami. And believe me, brothers and sisters, you may not get immediately recognition. You may not get immediate promotion or a hike, and you may see others who are possibly lying or who are possibly not being sincere. That also comes because of us being judgmental. But if we feel that also, don't worry. I always tell this to myself. Swami, you know what I'm doing, right? That's enough for me. Because my Swami will protect me, my Swami will take care of me, my Swami will ensure that I get whatever I deserve. Yes. And whatever I'm getting is what I deserve. I can't get anything that I don't deserve. So why is there any frustration, worry, or problem? Swami, you take care. I'm doing it for you. This is a wonderful solution that I got as an answer, which I try to put into practice. In our Veda, in our scriptures, there is a story of the dharma vyada, of a monk who is sent to the dharma vyada. Vyada is a butcher, chops meat. Here is a monk, the story goes that he's sitting and meditating under a tree. And when a bird dropping, it's natural for the bird. The monk is so angered. He looks up at the bird in anger, and the bird is burnt to ashes. And the monk feels happy. He's like, wow, what power I've got. I burnt the bird to ashes. Then he goes, now he's having that ego, in him. He goes walking. He goes begging, but he's having that ego now because I can burn a bird with my sight. Bhavati Bhikshandehi, meaning, lady of the house, please give me some alms. But he tells it like a king demanding for his tax. And the lady says, sir, please wait. I'm serving my husband here. Okay. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know that I can burn a bird with my gaze. Bhavati Bhikshandehi. Oh, it's almost like, hey, lady of the house, you better come here. You don't know what I can do. I can burn down your house. The lady takes her time, serves her husband, comes walking out and tells, sir, please wait a little while. I'm here to serve you also. Don't get angry. I'm not a little bird that you can burn to ashes. And this monk is shocked. How does she know what happened? He realizes that without doing any tapas, without doing any penance, this lady of the house staying at home, doing all worldly things, is more advanced than him. He immediately falls at her feet and tells her, be my guru. She says, no, I'm not fit to be guru. You go to my guru. He'll be your guru. Who is your guru? That butcher, chopping meat. How can a butcher who does such terrible job be a guru? Be this. The attitude. It's a very inspiring story from our scriptures, which shows how we transform our work into worship by doing everything we do for God. Arjuna butchered millions of people, killed them, right? In the Kurukshetra battle. And the Lord was his sarathi. The Lord was his charioteer. And we have our sanatana sarathi. I feel very overwhelmed when I think of how Swami so lovingly guides the chariots for each one of us. Each one of us are fighting our own wars, our own battles. Based on our own karmas, based on our own destinies. And he custom makes a path for each one of us with all love. Swami, I'm so grateful for all that you have done, for all that you continue to do. With so much love, tenderly. If we feel that life has been hard on us, let us remember that this is the best and most loving way Swami has given it to us. It would definitely have been harder, definitely have been much more difficult without his intervention. That is the loving Sanatana Sarathi that we have. Ever by our side, ever guiding us. In fact, during the war, during the Mahabharata war, when a missile is shot, a Narayana Astra is shot, and Arjuna is sure to die, Krishna stands up and receives it in his chest. We don't realize that Swami does that for us every time. He'll never allow anything to hit us, that which will destroy us. Because he's here as our Sarathi, he will guide us. We have to keep that in mind. Just accept whatever comes in life as the path through which he's taking us. We are just standing in the chariot. Let us remember he's guiding our chariot. So why worry about the path being taken? Let us do whatever we have to do as his task. Where then is the question? Where then is the question of work-life balance? When my work itself becomes like my life, because I am doing it for Swami. It's a holy task that Swami has given me. I remember 2009 or 2010, we were all seated in the bhajan hall. And Swami was speaking about how each one of us is nothing but divine. And then I asked Swami, Swami, if I say that I am God, is that not ego? Swami looked at me lovingly and said, no, that is not ego. That is the correct satyam. That is the correct truth. But then, if you think that you are God and do all the nonsense that you want, everybody laughed. Everybody laughed when Swami said that. That is not right. Be in that awareness every moment. I am God. Will God do like this? No. Even if we can't be in the awareness that I am God always, can we be with the awareness that God is with us always? Whatever we do. And that is what Swami said next. Swami said, don't think that this is office work, this is housework, this is spiritual work, Swami's work. No. Whatever you do, you are there, right? And you are divine. So everything is divine work. Because you are the common factor, whether it's house, Swami, or office. What a beautiful message. A month back or 2 months back, when I was so upset about the same thing, work-life balance, this video pops up, my own video on YouTube. It pops up. I have uploaded it in my own channel. That's why I say Swami does all this so that I listen to what I speak. Let us not separate something as good work, bad work. No. Swami is with me. Swami is guiding the chariot of my life. Wherever he takes me, that is the divine path that I have to go on to. I think all our work-life balance problems will cease at that moment. But then, there's also a second part to it. I want to narrate the incident of one of my favorite teachers from college. This is an incident that also highlights another beautiful aspect about work-life balance. I would like to share the experience of Professor Hedjay Bhagyasar, as we call him. A very, very inspiring motivational teacher. Continues to stay in Puttaparthi. Every time I visit Puttaparthi, I make it a point to try and meet him. Because just one moment with him, you feel Swami's love and energy. And how he came to become a teacher who continues to teach and guide students and mentor students is a fascinating experience. I would love to narrate it because it gives me thrills and goosebumps as I think of it. Bhagya sir has been brilliant all his life. A gold medalist, chemical engineer, worked in some of the top companies in India and abroad. But having done all that, has had fantastic experiences. For instance, I think when he was in Amsterdam, if I'm not mistaken, when he was walking in the cold rain, he saw Swami walking beside him. He was walking because it was chill and he was not clothed well. To generate heat, he started saying, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, and he was walking. And beside him, he saw Swami walking, saying, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Phenomenal experiences he has had. All of which convinced him that this life is worthwhile only if spent for Swami. And that's why in 1986, he landed up at Swami's lotus feet, deciding that I will stay here and pursue my spiritual life. And what did Swami do? Swami made him a teacher in the newly started MBA course, the School of Business Management, Accounting and Finance that had started, I think in 1986 only. And that's how he became a teacher. And then 1987 in Vrindavan, Swami gave him an interview. And in the course of that interview, Swami asked him what sadhana he was doing. And then Swami advised him, find out who I am. And Bhagyasar said in his mind, Swami, I know who you are. You are the Supreme Divine. You are the Paramatma. But Swami said, no, find out who I am. So Bhagyasar, what does Swami mean? Anyway, he came out after the interview. See, when Swami wants to guide us, when Swami guides us, each and everything that happens in our life is a message from him. We have to be alert to that, that's all. As Bhagyasar came out, Ratanlal uncle comes to meet him. Ratanlal uncle, it's from him that Ratanlal auntie gets her name. Ratanlal auntie, Sai bless her soul, passed away a few years back. She's been like a mother to Swami, cooked for Swami, has been with Swami from 1960s. Swami used to call her Ratanlal Amma, Ratanlal Amma. In fact, during his last few months in the physical frame, Swami used to refuse eating any food. But he would always relish what Ratanlal Amma made, only what she made. He would relish and eat. Great soul Ratanlal Amma. Would like to take a moment to offer my salutations to her. I have fond memories of her, of she narrating stories of Swami. Even at the age of 90, with such joy, she would relish and narrate. My God, maybe someday we'll have a video of those incidents, which are supreme and beautiful. Her husband, Ratanlal uncle, he comes up to Bhagyasar and he says, I think you should read this book. And in his mind, Bhagyasar thinks, I don't want to read any book. I have come here to follow Swami. I will follow his words. I don't want anybody's book. But then when he sees the title of the book, what is the title of the book? The title of the book is, Who Am I? Wow! Can you believe it? He sees the title of the book. The title of the book is, Who Am I? He's like shocked because, hey, Swami said that just now. He said, find out who I am. And here's the question, who am I? Wow. That is when Bhagyasar realized that this question, who am I, is actually the spiritual quest for each and every being on this planet. To find out our true reality. And he started going into it. Oh my God. And as he says, he would read this book once every day. Meaning he'll finish reading that whole book once every day. And morning and evening he'll be meditating. Contemplating, who am I? Who am I? What's my reality? Who am I? That is how he would spend the entire day. Even when Swami returned to Puttaparthi, in Puttaparthi, go early in the morning, 6 o'clock, sit in the mandir when it opens. Keep contemplating on this question. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? He stopped running behind Swami. He thought, why should I run behind Swami's physical form? If that was what I needed to do, Swami would have told me to do that. But Swami has told me to find out who am I. Let me find out. This went on like this. One day, Swami wanted to go out somewhere. He summoned his car. As he came out of the interview room, he saw Bhagyasar was seated there. Bhagyasar didn't see him because he was sitting with his eyes closed, contemplating on his reality. Who am I? As he sat like that with his eyes closed, he felt a pat on his head. Opened his eyes. It was Swami. On his way, as he was walking, Swami had patted him and walked. That evening, something phenomenal happened. As Bhagyasar opened his eyes, his drishti or his vision had totally transformed. He was no longer seeing the world the way we see it. He was seeing the entire world, nay, the entire galaxy, nay, the entire universe within him. And in that universe, there was one body Bhagya as well. The bhajan hall was within him. Swami was within him. As Swami opened the interview room and came out, that Swami was within him. He was unable to explain what this experience is because it has to be experienced. If that was his difficulty, you can imagine mine. I'm trying to explain the experience which he could not explain. But these are the things that caught my mind, that he's functioning at a dual plane, kind of like, yes, the body bhagya is there seated in the bhajan hall, but it's only the body bhagya because bhagya is not in the bhajan hall. The bhajan hall is in bhagya. The bhajan hall is in bhagya, but body bhagya is in bhajan hall. Confusing, right? For me also. But that's how it is. He doesn't feel the need to eat, sleep, even breathe. But yes, body bhagya is breathing. It's supreme lightness, supreme joy, supreme peace. He's experiencing it. He's just going about carrying on all his duties. He's going and teaching in the class. But that's just like autopilot, without any emotion, without any disturbance, in absolute serenity. Every class is the same because there is no bad class, good class, happy class, sad class, nothing. It's gone beyond emotions. Everything is within him. Cannot get angry on anybody. How can you get angry on anybody? Everything is you. I mean, it's a part of you. Can I get angry on my index finger? Can I get angry on my little finger? Can I get angry on my thumb? No, because it's me. It's me. I only have love. And that is the kind of feeling he's feeling towards everybody and everything in this universe. Wow. And this experience continued. Till one day, the body Swami came walking towards the body Bhagya and patted him. And as Bhagyasar beautifully puts it, he says, I returned back to abnormalcy. I returned back to abnormalcy because this world that we live in, the life that we lead is so abnormal. That is our true normal because that's our reality. I had got a taste of that reality, he says. It was as if Swami was telling him, that is only free sample. Now work for it. Work for it. And he was crazed. Once you get a taste of it, he says, you will not want anything else in life. And I believe him because even though I have not got a taste of it, just hearing of how it tastes, I feel that I want it. I feel that, Swami, I want to feel you. I want that experience, Swami. That's all. I want to work for it. Yes. And that is why I say we should start working for it, meaning start putting effort to see Swami in everything. Imagine, it's hard work. People will ask, how do I see Swami in bad people? If it's easy, then everybody would have done. No. How do I win an Olympic medal? Yeah, you practice. That's it. Practice, practice, practice. But I have practiced for 2 years, then practice for 3 years. But I have practiced for 10 years, then practice for 20 years. That's all. There's no other solution, no other shortcut. How do we learn riding a cycle? Practice, practice, practice. And when will I know that I've learned? You will know. You'll get balance in life. I mean, you'll get balance on the cycle. Same way you'll know because you'll get balance in life. It won't matter. The balance in life will not depend on where I work, on who is in my life or which person is in front of me. No, because it's an internal balance. When I'm on my cycle, it doesn't depend. My balance doesn't depend on the road or whether the tree is there or whether it doesn't depend on anything at all because the balance is within me. Same way in life as well, when I achieve that balance, the balance is no longer dependent on anything external. It doesn't matter where I work. It doesn't matter how much I earn. It doesn't matter whom I marry. It doesn't matter how many children I have. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if I'm healthy. Nothing matters at all. Nothing matters. I am at peace and balance. And we have to strive for it. It's the greatest gift. We won't get it free. Nothing comes free in this world. What then to speak of the greatest ever thing? We have to yearn for it. We have to work for it and practice and practice. There will be times when we get frustrated. There will be times when we shed tears and wonder, Swami, when is it going to end? What will happen? We have to hold on. Say his name, see his form. Hold on. When things are getting rough and you feel enough's enough, say his name, see his form. Hold on. Hold on, Sai Ram. Say his name, see his form. Hold on. When life seems so unfair and no one seems to care, say his name, see his form. Hold on. Hold on, Sai Ram. Hold on to Swami. Coming back to the story, Bhagyasar was so thrilled with this experience. He wanted more of it. Bhagyasar wanted more of this. So he began to focus and intensify his sadhana. Then came the summer course, Swami in 1990. Years passed this way with his sadhana. In 1990, Swami restarted the summer course in Indian culture and spirituality. For 30 days, every day Swami delivered discourses, beautiful discourses on how to achieve this reality that we should achieve. It was not a coincidence. Bhagyasar was thrilled. Please do visit the summer showers in Vrindavan 1990. Or else, go to Radio Sai website and download the audio of a series called Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam. Brother Sai Prakash and Prem, Bhagyasar has also participated in that at some episodes, have gone into the depths of this 1990 summer course. In the last discourse of the summer course that year, I think it was on the 1st of June, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the last discourse, one of the final things Swami said was, even if the whole of life is spent in this meditation on your reality, it's not enough. And that struck Bhagyasar very deeply in his heart. He felt, what am I doing, wasting my time? When Swami says my whole life in this meditation would not be enough. So you know what he did? Returned to Parthi. Swami was still in Vrindavan. He tendered his resignation to the principal. The principal said, what is it you're doing? Swami has appointed you. How can you resign? He said, Swami has only indicated me to resign. You can take this as the starting of my 3 months notice. Bhagyasar had decided, I want nothing else in life but this ultimate experience. And so, life continued. Bhagyasar spent more and more hours meditating and contemplating. Then Swami returned to Puttaparthi. Once Swami returned to Puttaparthi, something interesting happened. At that time, the registrar was Chakravarti sir. He came and called all the teachers and said, Swami was saying that all teachers have some doubts. He is ready to resolve them. Dear brothers and sisters, this was Swami's way of indicating to the teachers, ask for an interview, I want to grant you. That is our loving Bhagavan. Because the teachers themselves had no doubts as such. But because Swami had sent this message through Chakravarti sir, The next day, all the teachers sat in the front and said, Swami, we have some doubts we want to ask you. Swami said, Bangaru's come. Okay, if you have doubts, I'll answer it. Swami took them into the interview room. Now, Bhagyasar was in a dilemma. Should I go for the interview or not? Because I have given my resignation. But I'm in my notice period. So I think I'm still, yeah, it's okay. After a lot of hesitation, thinking, just before the interview room door could close, he got up and rushed. And Swami was at the interview room door, almost shutting it. Saw Bhagyasar. Lazy, Swami told him. Go. And then Bhagyasar looked into the interview room. Where does he go? It's filled. He just stood there. Swami entered and started walking in. When Swami walks, a path is made. So as the path was made right behind Swami, he also walked. Swami went and sat on the chair. He sat right at Swami's feet. Wah! Came in last, went into the first. And that interview was a long, beautiful one. Many things were discussed. I would like to draw your focus to that point in time when Swami asked Bhagyasar, what sadhana are you doing? What sadhana do you wish to do? And he said, Swami, I wish to find out who I am. And that is why I have resigned, Swami. I want to resign and focus only on this. I don't want to waste time in worldly activities. Even as he said this, Swami's eyes became big red. And Swami thundered, Hey Bhagya, if you separate things as worldly and spiritual, even in 1,000 lifetimes, I will not give you what you are seeking. Mark the words. In 1,000 lifetimes. We get this human birth after 84 lakh species. 1,000 lifetimes meaning, my God, you can't even count. 84 crores, 8,400 crores, oh, billions of 84 billions years. My God. And Swami didn't say, you won't get what you're seeking. Swami said, I won't give you what you're seeking. Here is the granting authority. Swami said to him, my students are Maharishi Tattvas. And they're eager to hear. And you're eager to share. You will not get a better opportunity than this, where somebody is eager to share and they're eager to listen. Do that. Shower what's in your heart onto my students. I'll surely give you what you seek. Is it any surprise that even to this day, Bhagyasar continues to be a teacher, continues to motivate? I'm about to hit 40 years in my life. I still look up to Bhagyasar. His touch on my shoulder feels like Swami's touch. He continues to teach as much as he can, as much as he is allowed to. He'll be my teacher for life, and he's one teacher I send wishes to every Teacher's Day. But what he said is that we have to remember that if we separate things as worldly and spiritual, we will never achieve that beautiful state. That beautiful state sublimates everything within it. Everything becomes divine. Where is the question of separation? I read a similar experience of Paramahamsa Yogananda in his book Autobiography of a Yogi. You know, in search of this bliss, in search of this God, there was a point in time where he feels that my master Yukteswar Giri is making me do all mundane, worldly stuff. Where will I achieve? I have to focus on spirituality. So he leaves his master and runs away to the Himalayas to do tapas. But then I will not go into the details. So many things happen and he is not able to achieve. He returns back. And he is thinking that his master will now give him a nice scolding because of what he did. But no, Yukteswar Giri welcomes him, gives him breakfast, sits and talks as if nothing has happened, as if yesterday night they spoke to each other. And Yogananda is surprised. He says, aren't you upset? No, why should I be upset? I'm happy when you're happy. You were happy running to the Himalayas, so I'm happy. You're happy coming back here, so I'm happy. That is the love of the master. That is the divine love. Swami says, right? Bliss is my food. Yes. Even if he doesn't eat, he used to not mind. He wanted us happy. When we are happy, he's happy. So after that, Yogananda is happy. He's back in the ashram. He continues his practice. And one day he's sitting in meditation. As he's sitting in meditation, he hears Mukunda. Now, Mukunda was his name actually before he got the title Paramahamsa Yogananda, and his guru Yukteswar Giriji used to call him Mukunda. Mukunda, he doesn't respond. He thinks in his mind, Are, this guru doesn't know or what that I'm meditating. What? Every time when I'm meditating only he disturbs. Mukunda, I won't respond. What? I won't. I'm meditating, he should know it. Mukunda, Guruji, I'm meditating. And Yukteswar Giri says, I know how you are meditating. Your thoughts are scattered there like leaves in a strong storm. Come here. He protests like that, he gets up and goes. He goes. And then Yukteswar Giri tells him, Papam. There's so much of compassion and love in his eyes, in the Guru's eyes. The Guru looks at him and says, you ran till the Himalayas and you couldn't get it right. Just pats him on his chest. And in that moment, here here Paramahamsa Yogananda ji has beautifully described in his book Autobiography of a Yogi. Please read it. The exact experience that Bhagyasar had, he has. Everything he sees within him. He's gone into much more, 2 pages of description. Beautiful, but the summary is what Bhagyasar also said. It struck me that it's such a similar incident. He's in that beautiful state. And then again his master pats him on his head and he's back and, oh God, no, I don't want to come back. And Yukteswar Giri tells him, no, it's very addictive. Should not get lost. Come, let's sweep the room. After that, we'll go for a walk on the banks of the Ganga. Strange, right? A master who is able to confer that experience says, let's sweep the room. Swami, who is able to give that experience with a tap. If it's such a beautiful state, he's always in that state, right? Why should he talk? Why should he work? Why should he do Narayan Seva? Why should he walk? He used to go everywhere, even at the age of 85. Swami would sit in the car and go around everywhere in the ashram, checking if everything is fine or not. Personally, he would supervise. Because spirituality is not about separating this as worldly and this as divine. It's about reaching a state where everything is divine, because that is the truth. And once we reach that state, automatically we have peace. Automatically we have love. Automatically we have equanimity. We have everything. There is no problem at all. But yes, to reach that, it requires Shraddha and Saburi, faith and perseverance. May Swami give us the strength, the faith and perseverance to always seek him in everything that we think, everything that we speak, and everything that we do. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Wow. Say his name, see his form, hold on, hold on, hold on. Brother Arvind, that was such a spectacular and inspiring session. You've revealed to us the secret of work-life balance by doing everything we do as if we are doing it for Swami. And so then all the work we do becomes an act of worship. Very, very beautiful. So now we shall dive deeper by starting our Q&A session with the questions that we've received during the registration. So to get the ball rolling, Brother Arvind, earlier you mentioned this secret to work-life balance by doing everything we do as if we're doing it for Swami. So what exactly is the difference between doing work as if we're doing it for Swami and having Swami in all of the work that we do?
I don't know. I think it's only about the English. It's when I say doing it for Swami or bringing Swami in whatever we do, I mean the same thing only. Just imagine that you're in the interview room or you're sitting with Swami. Here, I am in the room here, Swami is seated here, and Swami tells Arvind, I want you to go and negotiate with that dealer there. Okay. Devotees have given me money. We have to use that. So be very careful. It is devotees' money because Swami would be extremely, he would not even waste 1 rupee. That's why if anybody had to travel also, no, he would tell them to travel on their own money. No using the trust money or no using anything for your personal travel because it is devotees' money. So now go and negotiate. In fact, in the early years, Swami would bargain for chairs. And at that time, the devotee says that Swami, they ask Swami, why are you bargaining? A few rupees we'll give. Swami says, no, I have to save all these because I have to build a hospital. That hospital came 30 years later, but Swami was planning from then. So if Swami tells, no, go, yeah, bargain and get a good deal and come. How will I go and do it? It's not about finishing it fast. It's not about, I will try to do in such a way that we get the best deal. At the same time, the person who is selling should not feel, wow, what a cutthroat fellow he is, what a kanjus, what a miser he is. No, because here I'm representing Swami. The person who is selling also has to be happy. I should also get a good deal. Something make the way I speak. I will do everything because I'm thinking, oh, this is Swami. I'm doing it for Swami. That is what I mean. So anything that I do, suppose I'm taking care of my child and God, I've got my office work to do, but my child is crying here now. How I'm not able to focus? Just imagine Swami telling, Arvind, I know this office thing has to be done. Yeah, you do this, but please, this child is also crying. Just take care. Can you manage this? Can you do this for me? And I know it's tough, but two things, office and child. Swami, you want me to do this for you? Okay, Swami, don't worry, I'll do it. So it's the same problem that I have. How to do office as well as this baby here. But when I take it as a task given to me by my Swami, my attitude will change. My patience will increase. My tolerance will be higher. And I'll do it with love now. I'll do it with love. I won't be like, hey, I won't bash my laptop and I'll be like, hey, be quiet, yaar. I'm trying to focus here. I won't do that. That's what I mean by saying whether you say bring Swami into whatever you do or whether do it as you're doing for Swami. I mean the same thing. Just imagine, close your eyes and directly imagine that Swami is telling this to you. Because that is the truth. If Swami didn't want, why would that task come to you?
Correct, brother Arvind, especially when that last part when you say that. So it's basically Swami's will to give us that scenario, that situation. So in that sense, how would you when we do our action, when we do our work, ultimately we will always be bothered by the results, correct? No matter what, even though it's Swami's work or we are having Swami in us while doing the work, the mind tends to ponder upon what the results is going to be. So the question is to ask, how can we practice the act of surrendering without being bothered by the results? Especially in the example that you gave about the super specialty hospital, everybody was worried, how can we do it? Inauguration is 1 year, how can we do it? But Swami didn't have that. So how can we be like that and integrate that in our lives?
Exactly, as I said, practice. It's not like I've integrated it. I'm also struggling. It's about practicing it. Now we know the super specialty story. We know hundreds of other stories like this. Once we know that, we learn from the past mistake, right? Like, oh yeah, correct. It's okay. It's okay. Because Swami always sees the effort, 100%. If we have given our 100%, Swami is happy. That is the reason why in Prashanti Nilayam, where the greatest singers of India would come and sing, Swami would listen to us singing also. He will listen to the youth from Malaysia singing also. He will listen to the students also singing. Though the result produced is so much lesser compared to the top singers. Because Swami sees the effort. And once we are convinced about that, and I know that that's all that is there in my control, I can give my 100%. I don't have the result in my control. So what is the use of focusing on an illusion that I'm in control? No, I cannot. I can only focus on my effort, and I'll ensure that I do it 100% well. And I will derive my joy if I have put 100% effort. So it comes with life's experience as well as practice. That's all I feel. We realize again and again that sometimes without doing anything, we get some nice things happening in our life. At the same time, there are times when we put in so much effort, but nothing comes. We realize that the result is not at all in our hands. Then it's common sense, when the result is not in my hand, why am I centering my joy based on the result? Let me center my joy on what is in my hands. What's in my hand? Effort. So I'll focus my joy on effort. I'll be happy if I'm able to put 100% effort. Result, okay. It's like, investing possibly in a stock market. Everybody invests in the stock market because it gives great returns. But how do you know whether the returns will come after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years? No. What I'll focus on is my method correct? Am I gambling or am I investing? Am I doing it properly? If I've done it well, that's all. Somebody else may make more than me. Somebody else may make less than me. That's not in my hand. I don't know. But as long as I've done my thing correct, it's fine. If I have simply gambled and put $1,000 and it became $2,000, it's not something for me to celebrate because my process was wrong. My method was wrong. Everything was wrong. It was just lucky that I got it. The result is favorable, but all my efforts were not right. I should not be happy at that time. I have put all my efforts, despite that if I lose that $1,000, that's fine. I mean, couldn't have done anything better than this. So I think that's where we should start rather than, it's not like take away the focus from the result. I think start focusing on the effort because we can focus only on one thing. If we start focusing on the effort, automatically our focus goes away from the result.
Yes.
That helps. I'm just sharing. I don't know if this is like the right answer and all. I'm just sharing what I feel. Yeah.
Yes, it's a wonderful tip. I think it's very helpful to kind of like focus on the effort as we're doing it, and only through experience and practice. So moving on to a question that the audience has given us. So we have heard that we should see Swami, divinity in all. But sometimes I find it really hard to do that with a person that isn't kind or envious and does things that does not seem right to me. How do I still try to see God in them and feel that sincerely?
Even I face this. And my result, my solution, what I do is, if I'm not able to see Swami in somebody who is being nasty, forget seeing it in him. Can I see it in others at least? Am I able to see Swami in my Balvikas Guru? Or am I able to see Swami in my Samiti people? Am I able to see Swami in my parents? Am I able to see Swami in my husband or wife or my children? We don't do that also many times. I mean, we are nasty to our own friends, our own family, our own people. So I feel thinking that I'm not able to see Swami in somebody who is nasty is a far step. That's okay. If I'm not able to, okay, that's fine. Because Swami sees only our effort. Can I see, forget all this. Can I see Swami in Swami? We behave at times as if Swami doesn't exist only. We think that Swami is not seeing. We think of him and so I say, let us start with seeing Swami in Swami first. Then am I able to see Swami in people whom we love? I many times don't see Swami in my own mother. I shout at her. I don't see Swami in my daughter. I mean, it's not that I shouldn't scold and discipline my child, but that scolding and disciplining should come only from my lips. I should not have anger in my heart. If I allow anger in my heart, I've forgotten that it is Swami. That it's a drama that I have to play as a father or as a son. So Swami would, when we go for examination, Swami would say that when you get the question paper, first read all the questions, pick all the questions that are easy, that you know the answer for, and answer them first. Then go for the difficult ones. Because when you answer the easy questions, your self-confidence will boost. And when that happens, you'll be able to answer the difficult questions easily. And there'll be some questions for which you won't have an answer. Suddenly that answer will appear to you because of self-confidence. Because self-confidence leads to self-sacrifice, leads to self-satisfaction, which leads to self-realization. That is your oneness with God. So in realizing your divinity, self-confidence is the first step. So when we are self-confident, we are in connect with God. So Swami would say, when you're answering question paper, your exam paper, answer the easy ones first. Okay. The same thing I feel applies in life as well. Do the easy ones first. See Swami in those who feel on whom it's easy to see. And start seeing that. That will give confidence, and a time will come like what happened to Bhagyasar or Paramahamsa Yogananda, where you see everything as divine and you don't see any difference at all. It'll become like that. But let's not start with that. Let's not think of the nastiest person in our life and think, how do I see Swami in him? Even now, when I think of the nasty people in my life, I'm not able to see Swami anywhere close to them. So till I reach the stage, I follow the other Swami's advice, which is avoid bad company. Run away from such people and start seeing Swami in those you love. Expand that cycle slowly. Even in Jyoti meditation, that's what you do, right? You see the Jyoti first within yourself. Then you see it expanding to your family members, then to your friends, then to your circle, then to the universe, then to all those nasty people. You don't start with the light in the nasty person, right? So in the same way, that is how you expand love. Like here also, start with what is easy, start with our own people, and others keep away from them. That's what Swami only says, avoid bad company. Keep away from them as far as possible, and away not just physically. Don't entertain them in that. Many times we keep away from them physically. Like, Kamsa hated Krishna. He wanted to kill Krishna, but he got liberated because all his life he thought of Krishna only. It was lucky that his enemy was Krishna. But we get some Kamsa as our enemy and keep thinking of Kamsa, though Kamsa is not in our life physically.
Very nice. I feel like I so resonate with that. It's not an easy task to overcome. Brother Aravind, you mentioned about light meditation, Jyoti meditation. So meditation is very hard for some of us to do. In fact, it's a very tedious challenge. Do you have any tip of what may have worked for you to always remain connected to Swami, to remember that he is right there with us?
Honestly, let me, when it comes to the matter of meditation, let me confess that I don't do much meditation. I always feel that I should meditate, meaning the standard meditation wherein you sit straight, close your eyes and calm and, focus on one thought. I wish that I also would do that. But somehow when you sit in meditation, that time only there's a sweat drop coming, your nose starts itching, you start hearing the dog that is barking in the distance, you get irritated at your daughter playing in the background, you suddenly become more sensitive. So what I feel meditation is it's about focusing on one thing at a time. That's what we do when we sit also, whether it's a Jyoti meditation or whether it is a meditation on one's breath, soham. We focus on one thought. One reason why we have so much of disquiet in our life, why we lose peace in our life, is because there are hundreds of thoughts going on in our head. Even if our body is lying and we are sleeping, our mind is running. There are at least 1,000 thoughts at any point in time. To get genuine peace and relaxation, we have to be in a thoughtless state. Difficult to go thoughtless. That is the reason we are told to concentrate and contemplate on one thing. Because what happens is when I'm focusing on Swami, all of the thoughts go and one thought is Swami, Swami, Swami. Yeah, maybe little other thoughts come, but even if I'm not able to focus only on Swami, from 1,000 thoughts, I have at least come down to 50 thoughts. The predominant thought being Swami, and there are other few thoughts, that is there. But it has reduced from 1,000 to 50. That in itself gives us calm. Next time, maybe from 1,000, I can reduce it to 25. So therefore, I feel another way of meditation is if I'm not able to pull out separate time to meditate. It's like how Paramahamsa Yogananda was reprimanded by Yukteswar Giriji saying, what meditation are you doing? Huh? Same thing, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa hit Rani Rasmani on her head. She's a queen. He hit her and said, you are sitting here, but your mind is somewhere else. So I feel practical meditation would be whatever I'm doing at that point in time, can I focus 100% on that? That's meditation. If it's my office work, can I refrain from going to Facebook or WhatsApp or doing something else, some other website? If I'm sitting and playing with my children at home, can I focus and give myself fully to my children rather than allowing a thought about my office? Oh, that is there, that is due this. We are constantly physically in one place, mentally in some other place. When we are sitting with children, we are thinking of office. When we're sitting in office, we are thinking about our children. We are doing the wrong thing everywhere. And therefore, I feel practical meditation would be whatever I'm doing at that point in time, focus all my energy and strength on that, my thoughts on that, my energy on that, and do that. And that would be one meditation after another. And we will see that our professional life, personal life, all life keeps improving.
Oh, wow, that's really nice how you integrated meditation, which is the standard close your eyes and sit in your corner, into a practical way of using. That's very, very interesting. So you talked about the thoughts that we have, right? Especially during this meditation or when we're trying to focus in the present. So, Brother Aravind, how do we harmonize our thoughts, words, and deeds so that what we think and what we say and what we do are all aligned together?
If you get the answer, let me know. I also. But I feel that this kind of meditation, basically, it's about reducing the number of thoughts. Because why will I speak something that I can actually, practically, I cannot speak of something that I have not thought of. When I'm speaking something, definitely it is something I have thought about. Even suppose during my speech also, 2-3 things came up spontaneously. I had not planned. And 2-3 things that I had made in my notes, to speak, I didn't speak it. But even that spontaneous thing that has come because I have thought about it sometime. So whatever I'm speaking or whatever I'm doing definitely derives from what I'm thinking. And that's why it is so important to, be aware of what we are thinking. At least consciously, we think of things that we want to speak and do only. Many times, we do all our things that we are possibly ashamed of doing or speaking about, but we do it in our minds. We indulge it in our own minds. We will never speak about it because we get embarrassed. Okay. We may not even do it because it's even more embarrassing. But in the mind, because we feel nobody is watching, nobody knows, I'll spend my time thinking of all those things. What I have to realize that is the more I think about it, it solidifies, because thought is power. And whether we believe it or not, we are all divine. We are all Swami only. So even my thought is like Swami's thought. So what I think is what I will become, definitely. So the more time I spend in thinking that is what is going to express in my words and thought and my deeds unconsciously as well. So consciously, I can try to spend more time in thoughts that I would like to. That's all I feel. So there also the solution lies in bringing down from 1,000 thoughts to 50 thoughts. Because when there's a disconnect, if you're thinking one thing and doing another thing, that's because you're having 1,000 thoughts. At this point in time, you are thinking of the 800th thought. But because you have thought about the other things, they may manifest in your words and deeds unconsciously. That's why Swami would say that with a man, I'm a man. With a woman, I'm a woman. With a child, I'm a child. But when I'm alone, I'm God. Because that's what it is. When he's alone, so we are what we truly are when we are alone. Otherwise, we are always being modified by what people think of us, how we are. Now in this talk, I'm appearing like possibly a very wise person, very calm and beloved child of Swami. But Swami knows and I know who I am. Not in that sense, but what it is, because we are what we are when we are alone. So that is another practical thing. When we are alone, what are the thoughts that come to us? That is what we truly are. And I must say, I must confess that even when I'm alone, there are many thoughts that which I'm not proud of. Thoughts of anger, thoughts of desire, thoughts of kama, krodha, lobh, basically these six. These thoughts come to me as well. And I think, yeah, this is not, such thoughts are not coming now, here. That's so, but this is not me, because I'm in the company of, I don't know, 150, whatever, whoever, virtually, but I know. So I'm actually enacting and putting up a nice face of myself, which will win me. Oh, brother Aravind, you are awesome. You are terrific. But I will never present other face. And that is why I think when we are alone physically, when we are by ourselves, we can start observing the thoughts that come to us, because that gives us an idea of where we are at that point in time. Try to elevate those thoughts, try to replace those with wonderful thoughts. And I think automatically such things only will express in our words and deeds as well. I don't know if I answered the question, but I answered something. Yeah.
All right. It's very insightful. I really appreciate it. I'm sure all of us do. So thank you so much, Brother Aravind, for your insights throughout this whole session. Let's capture this wonderful moment with the Swami's very own photographer. So if everybody could turn on your camera and we will take a group picture.
Yeah, please send this to me as well. Yes.
We'll do, definitely. All right. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, so we shall begin. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, the next page. So everybody just keep smiling. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, perfect. So we've gotten the picture. Now, so we just want to thank Brother Aravind for taking time to clarify some of the doubts that all of us have been facing, especially in the workforce, and showing us the way to integrate Swami in all aspects of our lives. This session has been nothing but mind-blowing, and it's like, Brother Aravind, you took us back to Parthi. It feels like that. So such deep insights and reflections for all of us to ponder upon. The way Brother Aravind brought Swami into this makes it feel like Swami is still alive through his messages, So, dear Brother Aravind, we just want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for taking the time to do this session. You have truly opened up our minds to new perspectives. And to all brothers and sisters who are here, with the grace of our beloved Swami, working through the young adult wing of SSBC Bangsar, we just want to thank you all for attending our session here today. And we hope you leave with a heart filled with love and a peaceful mind. So once again, dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
जय जगदीश हरि स्वामी सत्य साई हरि भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्ति महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरि जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा